Welcome back, friends. Today I'm going to be drawing in my sketchbook some more aquatic animals. I'm also going to be sorting my art studio out. Thought I could give you guys a little art studio tour just so you can see kind of what stuff I've got in here and what's inspiring me, what's on my walls and stuff, even though you can probably see them anyway. Right, if that sounds like a vibe to you, then let's go. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to whoever I'm speaking to right now. I hope you're doing well and having a nice day, a nice week. Thanks for taking the time to come join me today. Thought I would ease my week up by filling a sketchbook page. This way I don't have to commit to a larger project, but I can still get some time drawing in. I think some weeks my energy is best spent elsewhere and I often neglect art and feel really deeply bad about it. For example, I'm on 10% this week because work is taking up a lot of my time. Then a nice sketchbook page like this where I just kind of pick a reference off Pinterest and go through the motions of drawing it on a singular page, trying out some color pencil process. It's really helpful to break up the week and make sure I'm still committing some time to drawing, even though I feel like I don't have, a maximum amount of energy to use. I can just use that 5% of energy I've got left for the week. Get a video out for you guys, and also just want to mention, as I'm recording this video, I just hit 3,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I mentioned in a previous video that I'd hit 2,000 not long ago, like a couple of months ago, and it means so much to me. It's really heartwarming, and I've been getting some lovely comments and support. I just really appreciate you guys being here, taking the time out of your day to check this video out, learn a thing or two about drawing with colour pencils, just seeing what I'm up to. Really. Anyway, I felt I wanted to draw some more aquatic animals again. This time I chose a shark. I think they're called a flying fish, a little turtle, and an axolotl. Like I said before, I found the imagery on Pinterest just to use it as a reference. Normally, if I was to make a larger piece or use a reference for a drawing that I would eventually sell as a print, I would pay for the rights for that image, just so I don't get caught with any copyright claims. I believe there's like a certain percentage of if you remix the image to look like something different, then you can kind of get away with it, but look, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't really want to get into that too much. If I'm just studying, then I think it's okay to use Pinterest, but mainly for when I'm doing like a larger piece, I will use a site called Wildlife Reference Photos and pay like £5 for the photo. I get it in like 4K high definition, and then I can really see all the lighting, and it's normally supporting another artist, it's supporting a photographer, so I think it's like feeding back into its own ecosystem. However, just for sketchbook pieces and for purely practice, I think going on Pinterest is pretty harmless to use as references. Everyone does it, so you'll probably see the same sketches as someone else on the internet because it's just so popular. I also started adding the pencil sketch in a lot of my videos, especially for the sketchbook ones. I think it's actually really good to like peel back the curtain and see kind of the change in process, because my pencil sketches can look really rough and rugged at the start, and honestly the line work isn't very good, but I just want the base composition down and I end up rubbing it out anyway just to make way for the color pencil. But I think it's good to see the difference before and after of how much I can push the color pencil from the pencil drawing. Plus you get to see kind of how I structure my drawings and build up kind of depth and form even with just a pencil sketch. I think it's really prudent to talk about and showcase your art process if you're an artist yourself. Obviously it's quite an introverted hobby or profession and you kind of just want to lock yourself away in your room. I think for other people it's really good to show your process and how you get from A to B. Now, I'm not saying every artist needs to showcase their process, start making long form video content. I just mean if you're already doing that, then why not go the extra mile to showcase the very foundation, the first step, and then all the way through to the middle steps and then the last steps, because art as a process you need to fall in love with. Otherwise, if you just fall in love with the end product, then you might as well just be an AI artist and just generate like slop, because it's not about the end product, it's about the idea generation. It's about sitting through the hard parts of when a drawing isn't working and it being in its ugly phase and like pushing through that really uncomfortable feeling and feeling vulnerable within yourself. And then you render one section of the drawing and then it's like, okay, it's starting to make sense now, and like my idea, what I thought of to begin with, is making sense, and these decisions I made are the right decisions. Like I knew I should have trusted myself, and that's cool to see. I feel like looking at someone's videos or looking at someone's art and knowing they've gone through ups and downs, like good and bad times, it's more relatable. Art is quite painful sometimes, and that sounds dramatic, but it can be quite disheartening. You can have all this like self-doubt. Knowing someone else has gone through that, who you look up to potentially, it makes you feel a bit more human, and like, I can get through this myself. But on the flip side of that, it can be quite scary to post work and be vulnerable showing my artwork and my process from beginning to end, because then these decisions that I made at the start of the video, before I'd even started drawing, I once believed in, and I thought these were really solid ideas, and then I get like halfway through it and I'm like, wait, are people going to receive this idea in the same way that I thought it was good at the beginning? Is this going to be received totally different to how I thought it was? It's like a constant like fight of like the good angel and bad angel on my shoulder, like, oh, they're gonna love it or they're gonna hate it. I constantly go back and forth in my mind of this thing I believed in, and maybe it's not as good as I thought it was, which I always think is skewed by social media metrics. And you look at certain numbers, okay, this video or this post didn't do as well, but there are so many other factors involved with if a video did well, or if this post got picked up by the algorithm, it was trending at the time because you drew some sort of fan art, and then maybe my original character didn't get as much attention. And to base our self-worth and artistic value on what we can give to the world off some like algorithm metric, that's got to be so harmful. Like, how do you trust your gut? How do you trust your ideas if you're just thinking about these metrics and these kind of abstract numbers that can appear and disappear any given moment, and some huge corporation can just take away from you? Then you're always going to find it hard to believe in yourself, which is something I actually struggle with. It's something that makes me change my stance or decision sometimes when I think about like the end user too much, or just the end of the process and not really the process, and like the beginning, the middle. Like, realistically, I'm making art because I love it, not for anyone else. So the gut decision I had to begin with must be the one I trust, and it should be the one I stick with. Of course, I think not every gut decision is going to be right, not every idea is going to be right, but at least I'm following my heart and I'm following what I believe in that instance, and I will exhaust that idea until I realise it's not good enough. And when it comes to what a good idea or a bad idea is, I think we have like a natural barometer for what would be considered good or bad. So that gut instinct you feel within you, I feel like you just have to run with until, not that it's too late, but until you realise, okay, right, it's maybe time to switch it up a bit, or like we'll start from scratch. I think seeing your ideas out and trusting them is like really crucial to being an artist, and like just trusting your gut, knowing you're making the right decisions, and like you believe in yourself. Because to be honest, I know it sounds soppy, but if you are not going to believe in yourself, who is going to believe in you? So yeah, sorry, that's a bit ranty, but that's just something I've been feeling at the moment. I've been feeling like a lot of pressure. My channel's growing and I feel like I'm growing as an artist, but then the self-doubt creeps in, the imposter syndrome creeps in. I feel like I'm not doing the right art that I should be doing, or that I promised to myself that I would be doing back in the day. I still want to do the projects, these larger projects that take a lot of time, but then sometimes I don't have time for them in the week, and then I feel like I'm a failed artist because, oh well, you haven't done that big project this week, and that you said you would, so that means you're a bad person, when it's just not true. Okay, maybe I don't have energy this week, maybe work is taking up too much of my time, maybe I've got social plans, maybe there's other aspects of my life that are taking a bit more of a precedent this week. So you just have to find a balance and trust it. You'll get there eventually, in your own time, in your own process, on your own journey. So I've obviously talked about how I think it's important to show your process if you're making content as an artist. I just want to say there is some people on Instagram that need to start showing their process from the beginning sketch, because they are definitely using AI. And some people might think, okay, it's just a reference photo, you're not necessarily using AI to generate your final piece, but I promise it's got to be one of like the worst ways to actually learn any fundamental aspects to art. These are robots, bro. They don't have human feelings. They don't know what it's like to walk through a meadow on a whimsy afternoon. They don't know the highs and lows of what it takes to express your feelings. So why would they be a good reference to use, you know? You are going to pick up extremely bad habits, and there are so many other resources available at our disposal on YouTube. There's tutorials, there's books, There is so much resources to lean on that you do not need to use AI referencing images. Also, AI doesn't have an accurate representation of what we see in real life. Okay, it's data compiled all into one sloppy mess. So yeah, just want to say that I think it's good to show your process, especially if you're using AI references. I just think it's just gross, and I'm not hating on anyone trying to learn, but there's definitely a few artists that I've seen where their work has suddenly changed, and you can really notice like the discrepancies, and it's like you're just trying to replicate AI slop through your reference photos. And beforehand, before AI came out, their work was really good, and I was like, why do that? Like, you don't need to be doing that. But yeah, anyway, fuck AI. All my homies hate AI. I won't get too much into it, but just know I am onto the artists that are using them as references. I'm onto you. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this drawing. I think it's turned out really nice. I've still got a lot of the video left, but I tried to keep everything kind of a realistic color with like a pop of a different color, and you'll notice I'm doing the gradient thing again. I think it works really nice with these, and I think all the colors across the whole page in like a nice harmony. I do think my first sketchbook page of the aquatic animals was better, but hey, we drew some different ones this time, and I think these look great regardless. It is just way too messy in here, and although I love the cozy vibes, there's a lot going on my shelves, there's a lot going on any surface in this room. It's a Saturday, currently raining outside. It's cozy, I get to do my chores. I bought a new shelf so I can organise and tidy this room up a little bit more. But before we do that, let me show you some of my art supplies and a little bit of a tour of what I've got going on in this room before it gets a little bit too chaotic in here. So first up, we have this wicker basket which just houses all the pencils and random other knick-knack art related things that I use. This, by the way, goated. I do use this for like a softer erase, but anything you could need for drawing essentially. If you're looking to get into pen drawing or using like ink, Sakura Figma brushes are goated. This is my fish vase. I put my pencil in every time, so when I can film setting up to draw, I can pull it out of the fish's mouth. Here is where you'll find most of the paper I use, or sketchbooks. It's got everything in here from all the years. If you saw my recent sketchbook video, this is where a lot of the sketchbooks that you saw, random box filled with stuff. This is why we need to organize. Beautiful drawer from IKEA where it houses like a lot of my recent artwork. This is where I used to do a lot of like my postage and packaging from, so you'll see a lot of supplies. I've obviously got a lot in stock because I closed my shop ages ago. Stickers, oh yeah, just all my art stock really. This is another storage solution. You can see that I like buying different storage solutions. Got my clips to keep the paper down. This is great for drawing semicircles and circles. I have my refill on the electric razor, pencil sharpener. A lot of art that inspires me, and even my own art, and just art that people have made me. So this was from my little sister, which is crazy. This is from my girlfriend, which is also crazy. And then just bits of my art, just cute little knickknacks and stuff that is inspiring to me. So I have a mix of Japanese woodblock printing. I'm assuming that's a Renaissance painting. I ripped that out from a book. One of my favorite artists ever, Feral Kid on Instagram, big statue thing. I just like an eclectic mix of different art styles. It's all very inspiring to me, even though I draw in kind of one style. I feel like it's accumulation and personality all in one room. And then I recently picked this up from TwitchCon. I can't remember the artist's name, but I saw this and just knew I had to have it. It really reminded me of some of the colours I use. It's very rainbow-like, and of course it's a dragon. I like to have little knickknacks and things I've picked up over the years. Vintage, Japanese print, the Bully Boys. So when I look from this view, so this would be my drawing view, and then I look up, wow, now I'm really inspired, guys. And then we have all my like physical media setup. I recently talked about this in a video. Yeah, I've got my DVD player, my PS2, a bunch of game consoles in there. Nice little setup. Needs some figuring out though. It's cute to have on in the background while I'm drawing. Recently been watching the Yu-Gi-Oh original series. Shout out Yu-Gi-Oh. This box I actually got from IKEA. It's really great because I've managed to just put every color pencil I own in here. And also, how cute is this? My girlfriend made me this chubby Squirtle. He's so cute. He's sat on a Game Boy. I love just looking up from my desk and seeing these little guys. It's almost like they're cheering me on when I'm having a tough time or I can't get through a drawing. They're like, come on, you got it, man. Lock in, champ. So that's nice. So this is all the paper that I'm going to be hopefully moving out of the way because it just sits in this corner the whole time. And I actually have a new shelf that's going to pop up here. This is the new shelf. And the idea is it's going to sit tall up here to give me some more height, so I can spread everything that's across this room and a bit too cluttered back into another corner. quick note while I interject editing this video. I found footage of this drawing I did ages ago. It was supposed to be a separate video, but I'm going to add it in to the end. And it's like an original character of a dragon I did. And it's really cool, and you get to see me colour it in. So, okay, bye. I know this is only a short part of the drawing for this larger piece, but as I found the footage, I thought I have to show someone, otherwise it's just going to be locked away in the vault for a while. And I'm really proud of this piece. I only got to post it on Instagram, and what I was saying earlier, it didn't do very well, even though I thought it would do well, and I don't really want to hold that metric up to have it as a meter of if it's good or not. I think it's really good, and that's what matters, and it's my first original character. I've always wanted to draw a dragon that feels like my own, and I feel like I've done this. I feel like I could draw this character in a free 60 cents and make like a model of it, so I know who it like truly is, like from all angles, which is quite cool. I've never really been able to do that, so that's something I learned drawing this piece. And I pushed my colour pencils really hard on this. I used only pink, yellow and green, and I just really went like really harsh on the shadows and wanted to create this sense of really harsh lighting, and I think I did it really well. I would often put highlights of yellow alongside the harsh shadow lines, so that shadow line would pop even more. And yeah, it's just a cute dragon. I don't have a name for him yet though. If anyone has a suggestion, I was thinking like maybe Lou or something. So my name is Lewis. I wanted like a dragon character to represent me, and it might sound cringe, but I've seen people do that before, and I would kind of want it to like represent, it's like a childhood version of me. So maybe I call it Lou with like 2 U's, like L-U-U, who knows. If anyone has any good ideas, then please let me know down in the comments below, because I'm struggling with that. I think my absolute dream is like making something like this and then having it as like a figurine at some point in my life, and maybe I sell them, or maybe I just have just one of them in my room, and it's like something I've made from a 2D sketch and then put into a 3D world. I think that's like a really cool product design. And I have so many favorite artists that turn their drawings into like models and stuff, and it just makes me so jealous. Like I really want to be one of those artists. But yeah, enjoy the rest of this video. I will play some music now, and you can just vibe out and watch me color in this beautiful dragon drawing. I hope you like it. Thanks for sticking around. See you soon. that's going to do it for the end of this video. If you enjoyed this week's colour pencil drawings in my sketchbook, make sure you like the video, you subscribe if you enjoy this kind of art. Also, hope you enjoyed seeing some of my art supplies and my art setup in general. It was really fun to actually like clear this out, and I feel like I've got a clearer mind now. So I implore you, clean your room. Okay, see ya.